Early in the morning, we set off from Jaguanum in Lee's friend's boat to cross to the mainland. We collected our car and set off along the beautifully scenic drive down the coast to the historical old town of Protea. This is a country of rock slides. They're everywhere. Brazil's sole nuclear power plant was built here at Angra. Protea consists of a new town and an old town. The ancient cobbles in the old part are really vicious. This quaint little town is steeped in history, and with its distinctive architecture and cute little shops, is now a sought-after stop for tourists. This man was actually working on a South African 2-cent piece, can you believe? Gold was discovered in the mountains behind Protea around 1700, and the ensuing gold rush led to the construction of the Gold Trail between the goldfields and Protea. This was used to get the gold to the coast and suppliers, miners and slaves back to the goldfields. Protea became the export port for the gold being sent up the coast to Rio. Now, the little port is teeming with tourists taking scenic trips around the bay. During spring tides, parts of the town flood, and in places they have these little pedestrian bridges. A truly gorgeous little town, proud of the cameo role it played in Brazilian history. On the way home, we took this boat across to Ilha Grande, the largest of the islands off the coast just south of Rio. And spent the day just wandering around the cute little port. It's largely undeveloped. There are no cars, no roads, and was once home to a notorious prison. The gorgeous tropical beaches were a wonderful place to sit and drink beer. Hiking trails abound over its rugged landscape. A lovely, laid-back tourist destination. Time to go. We went for a couple of boat trips around Jaguanum and some of the nearby islands. I couldn't get enough of the beauty and quaintness of the place. It was really sort of tropical islandy, Robinson Crusoe-ishly special. There we go. I believe they sometimes have weddings on this little beach. Wonderful. We visited Monteiro Carvalho's private island. He owns the VW franchise in Brazil. Used to throw big parties here in his youth. Hence the great braai area near the beach. What a setting. The views from his veranda were stunning. And what would life be without your own private beach? We walked across to the other side of his island to see the guest quarters. If I bought a VW, would I crack an invite? And then onward, past an island inhabited solely by cats, can you believe? We passed the yacht harbour and our guide wanted to fill up. A boer maak 'n plan. Further around the main island, Itukurusa, we came upon the only hotel in these parts. Beautiful setting. Oh, where art thou, Rob?
Você não soube, não? Morreu? Não, ele vendeu lá.
It's a boat used to be an average.
Can you believe I fell out of the boat? Lee's housekeeper, Anna, suggested we go down the island to her sister's restaurant for a fish lunch. Knowing there weren't any restaurants on the island, this intrigued us enough to go. After a short walk down the beach, we met Mr. D'Souza, the restaurant's owner, effecting running repairs on some of his equipment, and his sons bringing in our lunch. The restaurant was strategically situated with some charmingly authentic decor and stunning views of the beach and local islands. Of course, we ordered fish, and I went to the kitchen to see how they prepared it. Talk about cholesterol. A bit of an average meal, made fantastic by the great ambiance. One weekend, Lee had a braai for Louis's family who were visiting. Lovely people, but I couldn't speak Portuguese, so communication was a problem. Tourist boats used to visit our bay over weekends, which shattered the serenity for a couple of hours. But they were soon gone, and were the only forms of life we saw, apart from a few islanders now and again. Otherwise, no people, no newspapers, no phones, no nothing. Admittedly, there were days when we did have to put some effort in. Swimming, for instance. And as the day grew to a close, and peace and tranquility reigned, the oldies shattered that tranquility by pretending they were young again.
I started singing bye, bye, Mr. Merry Goodbye. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die.
The day we left, Louis stacked our bags precariously in the little rowing boat and took them out to the big boat. Every time I see this clip, I think of how Peter's bags would have left the Queen Mary. Goodbye, Jaguanum. You were awesome.